Just a quick message before the episode gets underway. I want to let you know that there is an opportunity to sponsor the RG10 podcast. More about this at the end of the episode, so keep listening. Welcome to the RG10 Podcast, brought to you by the people behind RG10 magazine. The aim is to bring you interviews, information and entertainment. In fact, anything interesting that's relevant to living around here. This episode of the podcast comes from a secret location on the banks of the River Thames in Wargrave, where at the crack of dawn throughout the warmer months of the year, you'll find groups of open water swimmers sliding into their wetsuits and slipping into the water. I'm here just a few days ahead of the Henley Classic swim on Sunday the 26th of June, where some of the swimmers have been putting the finishing touches to their training. One of those is broadcaster Jules Lang. You may know her from Radio 2, and she invited me along for a dip. Okay, so the water's, to be honest, it's not that bad. I'm in my wetsuit and I'm putting off the inevitable, but it's time to get in. Here we go. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Yep, that's not bad at all. I'm going to head up now. We're heading up, what's that? That's upstream towards the railway bridge. And there's a flagpole up there as well, so I'll speak to you when I get there. So, made it just past the railway bridge. It's been great fun so far. Kept to the right side, the right bank of the river. A few weeds here and there, got tangled up in, but nothing too bad. Managed to avoid the overhanging branches. And so far, so good. A bit of mist rising off the water. There we go, trying to paint a beautiful picture with words. Just going to turn around now, head back, and hopefully the river will carry me downstream, so it'll be just that little bit easier. Well, that's it. That was absolutely terrific fun. What a wonderful way to start the day. A few been greeted here at the secret location by a few ducks. Thankfully, all my gear's still waiting there. It's a wonderfully safe place, and that's exactly why I can't tell you where it is. Jules is just getting out as well, so have a quick chat with her, see how she got on, and get her to tell me a bit more about open water swimming and the appeal. Excuse me if I'm not making much sense, I'm out of breath. Jules, we finished the swim. I reckon we were in there for about 25 minutes. Thank you so much for letting me join you. But first of all, tell me about the Henley Classic swim. What exactly is it?
The Henley Classic swim is a 2.1 kilometre swim up the River Thames. And when I say up the River Thames, I really mean up the River Thames because it's all upstream. So we're swimming against the flow, as they say.
When you say we, how many people?
Do you know what? I don't know how many people are taking part in the Classics. It's hundreds.
Name them.
Yeah, name every single one. But I'm taking part with a little group of my Twyford swimmers. Susanna, Fiona, Leslie, Lucy, Catherine and myself.
And we have Susanna here as well. Susanna, what would you say for you is the appeal of open water swimming?
For me, it is the getting up in the morning. It's the kick off from the cold water, and it's very mental. So after I finish swimming, I feel amazing, and it just get a kind of a kickstart of the day. So it's mental and physical.
What were before you started swimming in the Thames, what were the obstacles, would you say? What was putting you off?
I didn't have a wetsuit. I was swimming in a shorty, which was quite a challenge. But yeah, And just, it's always mental.
Yeah.
It's always mental. It's never physical. It's always mental.
Jules, I've been down here before. There are always quite a few people here. What do you think is the secret, if you like, behind the popularity?
Well, firstly, the word secret, yes. Don't tell anyone where we are.
Okay.
It's a very well kept local secret, except for the swimmers. Well, you can see when you look around you. What was the question? It was about the appeal.
Oh, yeah. What's the appeal? What's behind the growth in numbers?
Well, actually, I think that lockdown had a lot to do with that anyway, because, I mean, even though I swim in open water, I'm also a pool swimmer. I do swim a lot in the swimming pool. But of course that all stopped in the pandemic. So there were, and you could come out, you could sneak out for a swim in the river. So there was that. But actually, it's really what Susanna said. I mean, look around you where we are now. It's absolutely beautiful. What we started this morning at 6:30, and we are completely set up for the day. You've already done your exercise. You've got your heart and your lungs working, and it's really good, like we were saying, for your mental well-being. And it just feels so natural to just get in the river, and it's free, by the way. That's the other thing.
We can't tell you where it is, but it is free.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are plenty other parts of the river available.
Is there any particular etiquette, would you say?
For sure. Just like there's an etiquette in the pool, which a lot of people don't stick to, might I say. There's definitely an etiquette in the river. Like, for instance, when we went in, obviously, a wetsuit's completely optional. But it's really wise to wear a brightly coloured hat, obviously, because we're on a part of the river where it's fairly busy, or it can get fairly busy, and you never know who's coming down the other way. It could be a paddleboarder, somebody in a canoe, whatever. So obviously you need to stay safe. I would never come here and do this kind of swimming by myself. You know, there's plenty of reasons why you should always be with a buddy, safety reasons, really. Apart from that, I mean, it's quite a wide river, so there's plenty of room for everyone. Avoid the swans, the birds.
Yeah, that's another thing. What about boats and stuff like that? What would you say to that?
So boats usually kind of go in the middle of the river, so we try to go on the side.
Yeah.
But if there's a group of us, one of us always shouts boat.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do, won't it?
But there were no boats this morning, so we were all right. Yeah.
What about the cleanliness of the water as well? Is that, Jules, you're laughing there. Is that something that you think about?
Well, I'm only laughing because we do have a joke about, you know, how much duck poo we come out of the river wearing. But this stretch of the river is pretty clean. I used to swim when I lived in London.
In effluent.
I'm telling you, there's nothing. Yeah, compared to that, it's crystal clear. But I mean, obviously, we try not to gulp it. I wear earplugs as well. I don't like the water getting in my ears. And also, actually, that's really good to prevent motion sickness. I don't know if anyone's aware of that. If anyone's going to start swimming, but earplugs are really good to stop that sort of feeling. You know, you have a repetition of the roll when you do crawl and stuff. So cleanliness I've never really had a problem with, but if you do gulp a bit of river water down, apparently the trick is, my good friend Leslie Bound says this, you chug a can of Coca-Cola.
I've heard that.
And it kills everything, as we know. So that's my top tip.
I've told my boy that, and so whenever we come swimming in the water, we're straight to buy a can of Coke, and he smashes it down.
Well, turning up at the local M&S garage in your wetsuit's always a bit of a spectacle anyway. So.
Any excuse, Jules. Any excuse. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for letting me swim with you. Jules, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was great to have you along with us.
And Suzanne, thank you as well.
Thank you too.
Well, I've got to keep my wetsuit on because I fully intend to walk around Wargrave and leave people in no doubt as to what I've been doing, because I feel very smug indeed. Thanks so much for listening to the RG10 podcast. We're now into series 6 of the show. We've been going over 2 years. We're nearing half a century of episodes, and I'd love to give a massive thanks to our loyal local listeners. And it's because our listeners are so loyal and so local that makes us such an attractive proposition for sponsors. So if you're interested in sponsoring an episode or even the whole show, then we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you've got any thoughts about who or what we can include in future episodes, then please do let us know via the rg10mag.com website or on any of our various social media channels. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.